In 1984, a truck barely bigger than a family sedan rolled onto America's roads and changed them forever. Some called it the future of the SUV. Others said it was a mechanical ticking time bomb. But the truth? That depends on who you ask and what roads you've driven. Because for millions of men who grew up in the 80s and 90s, the Cherokee XJ wasn't just a vehicle. It was the smell of hot oil on a summer road trip, the sound of gravel crunching under aggressive all-terrain tires. It was that cold 4.0-liter start on a winter morning, that deep, uneven rumble you felt through the steering wheel. It was the era when SUVs were steel, simple, and built by hand, not software. When you could pop the hood and actually understand what you were looking at. When a truck was a tool, not a tech gadget on wheels. And somehow, despite all the praise, despite all the legendary trail runs, despite the cult following that still exists today, the XJ was hiding a dark side almost nobody talked about. So tonight, we're telling the whole story. The glory, the horror, the legacy. Because the Cherokee XJ deserves more than nostalgia. It deserves the truth. Let's go back. Early 1980s, American automakers were dying. AMC, American Motors Corporation, was barely breathing. They'd watched their competitors get bigger, richer, more powerful, while they struggled to sell anything. The big, thirsty V8 wagons were dinosaurs. Gas was expensive. Customers wanted efficiency. Families needed something smaller, lighter, tougher. And AMC, a company on life support, needed a miracle. That miracle became a sketch, a shape, a boxy silhouette drawn by engineer Roy Lunn, the same man who helped bring the Ford GT40 to life. But here's the twist most people forget. The Cherokee wasn't supposed to be revolutionary. It was supposed to be cheap. AMC didn't have money for heavy frames or giant engines. They couldn't compete with Ford and Chevy's truck budgets. So they did something no American manufacturer dared to do at the time. They built an SUV on a unibody. Not a truck frame, not a ladder chassis, a single welded structure, light, stiff, efficient. It was a gamble so big that GM and Ford executives literally laughed at it. A Jeep without a frame? That'll never work. But AMC had no choice. It was innovate or die. And for a while, it looked like it might work. The XJ hit showrooms in 1984. Lightweight, affordable, capable. But it was missing something. Something critical. Power. In 1987, something happened that nobody expected. AMC, desperate, fading, running out of time, created an engine that would outlive the company itself. The 4.0-liter straight six. A block of cold American iron. Simple fuel injection. 7 main bearings instead of the usual 4. Few moving parts. An engine so tough that some mechanics swear it could run without oil for a while. This wasn't a high-tech marvel. It was brute force engineering, old-school reliability. And it changed everything. Suddenly, the XJ wasn't an underdog anymore. It was a beast. Lightweight body plus torque-heavy inline-6 equals a truck that could claw its way up cliffs that bigger SUVs got stuck under. It could tow, it could haul, it could run forever. Jeep had created a legend, but legends have flaws, and the Cherokee XJ had plenty. Just when you think the story is all glory and chrome, here's the turn. Remember that unibody everyone praised, the revolutionary design that saved AMC millions? It had a problem. A big one. After years of off-road punishment, many XJs started developing hairline cracks near the steering box mounting points. Some flexed so much that the doors wouldn't close on uneven terrain. The hatch would jam. The windshield would crack from chassis twist. Then came the infamous death wobble. One bad bushing, one loose track bar, one worn ball joint, and the whole front end would shake like it was trying to escape the truck. At highway speeds, with your family inside. Cooling issues plagued early models, overheating in traffic, cracked exhaust manifolds that sounded like machine gun fire, electrical gremlins that made headlights flicker like haunted house lanterns. The rear differential would whine, the transmission would slip, rust ate through floor panels like acid, and crash safety? Let's just say a modern crossover probably could beat it in a fist fight. No side airbags, no stability control, crumple zones were questionable. Fans loved it. Critics called it a death trap. Consumer Reports wouldn't recommend it. Both sides had a point. But flaws didn't stop the XJ. Nothing did. Because here's what the critics missed. The XJ was honest. It didn't pretend to be a luxury vehicle. It didn't promise comfort or refinement. It was a tool. And Americans loved it for that. It became the SUV of the working man. Fire departments used it. Forestry crews used it. Police departments used it. Hunters, campers, fishermen, they trusted it with their lives because despite everything, despite the flaws and the failures, the Cherokee never lied about what it was. It was honest steel. A square box with square windows and a straight six that just worked. You could fix it with hand tools, in your driveway, on a Sunday morning, with your kid watching, handing you wrenches just like you once watched your father. No computer diagnostics required, no dealer-only parts, no proprietary software. Just you, a Chilton manual, and a weekend. That's why people still love it. Not because it was perfect, but because it was theirs. And then, it ended. The last Cherokee XJ rolled off the Toledo assembly line in 2001. No ceremony, no parade, no farewell tour. Just a quiet sunset on one of the longest-running SUVs in American history. 18 years of production. Nearly 3 million units sold. And when the replacement came, the Liberty, bigger, rounder, softer, more modern, something felt different. Something was missing. The era of simple, honest trucks was over. The age of crossovers and connectivity had begun. And the XJ? It became a ghost. A memory. A legend whispered about in forum threads and Facebook groups. So today, the XJ is everywhere and nowhere. Rusting in barns, crawling impossible trails in Moab, sitting in driveways with 300,000 miles and still running, and online forums where people argue daily about whether it was perfect or terrible. So which was it? A highway icon or an engineering disaster?